the lack of, well, proof that she's been in the gym working on her craft, trying to hone her skills after what can only be described as one of the worst shooting seasons anybody's ever seen in the history of basketball.
Angel Reese is back in the spotlight, but this time, it's not for a glamorous event or a viral social media post. Instead, it's because of a training video that's got fans talking. As the WNBA offseason gets underway, players are either heading overseas or hitting the gym to fine-tune their skills for the next season. Reese recently shared a practice clip that's raised some eyebrows, leaving fans wondering, what exactly is she focusing on? There's a noticeable gap between the skills Reese is working on and the struggles she's had on the court, sparking debates about her dedication and priorities. Her off-season choices are now under a microscope. On the other hand, Caitlyn Clark's training videos are gaining attention for their intense drills that clearly match her strengths on the court, creating a stark contrast with Reese's approach. This has led many to question if Reese is truly committed to improving her game or if she's more focused on building her brand. Is this a genuine effort to get better, or just another way to keep her name in the public eye? Stick around as we explore the reactions from fans and what we can expect from Reese heading into the 2025 season. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started.
When she was literally the most inefficient player within 5 foot in all of the WNBA. Any which way you put it, she shot bad from the field. All right, she's 6'3" and she plays under the basket, and she shot 39.1% from the field.
When Angel Reese dropped her highly anticipated practice video, fans were expecting to see clear signs of growth, proof that she was using the offseason to seriously work on her game. This was especially true after a few months filled with red carpet events and social media posts that had some questioning her focus.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Let me do the math real quick.
Might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is my? I don't even know my salary. No, my rent is more than that. It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
When Angel Reese shared her practice video, fans expected to see drills aimed at improving her inside game, something that aligns with her role as a 6'3" player who plays primarily under the basket. Instead, the video highlighted her focus on three-point shooting and mid-range jumpers, which left many scratching their heads. Why practice moves that don't match her in-game strengths? The backlash came fast. Fans were quick to point out her underwhelming shooting stats, 39.1% from the field and just 44.5% from under 5 feet, one of the worst in history given the high volume of attempts. These numbers are concerning for any player, especially one expected to be a key part of her team's offense. Some fans even compared Reese's practice clips to infamous off-season videos from NBA players like Ben Simmons, who also looked great in practice but struggled to translate those skills into game performance.
Ben Simmons caught an amazing amount of stray bullets. An amazing amount. I guess Ben Simmons is known to release one of these propaganda kind of videos every year now.
The comparison to Ben Simmons didn't help Reese, and her critics jumped on it, using it as more evidence that she might care more about appearances than real progress. One fan even said, "Teach her how to make a layup, please." This video sparked a larger debate among analysts, who pointed out the disconnect between her training focus and the areas where she truly needs improvement. While hitting flashy three-pointers might look impressive in practice, it doesn't address the main problem, her struggle with scoring effectively inside and her heavy reliance on offensive rebounds, many of which come from missed shots she made herself. Analysts argued that Reese should be working on building consistency in her interior game and improving her ability to finish under pressure, especially considering her height and role on the team. One fan even suggested that before posting videos of awkward jump shots, Reese should focus on fixing her form and improving her shot first.
I'm trying to figure out why she's putting so much time in developing an outside shot when she works under the basket, primarily. You get a rebound, are you going to try to run out there all of a sudden and shoot a three, even though you got perimeter players that are standing around waiting for you to pass them the ball so they can shoot wide open shots? It could potentially be a horrible season for the Chicago Sky.
The criticism wasn't just coming from fans, media observers also weighed in, noting that this wasn't the first time Reese's off-season priorities had raised eyebrows. Her highly visible social media presence, often filled with glamorous events and podcast appearances, fueled the perception that basketball might not be her main focus. The release of this practice video only added fuel to that fire, leading many to question whether her off-season choices were more about staying in the spotlight than making real improvements to her game. The timing of the video also played a role in shaping the reactions. With the 2025 season just around the corner and the competition in the league intensifying, both fans and analysts were hoping to see Reese focus on the fundamentals, layups, defense, and rebounding drills that would help her become more effective on the court. Instead, they were met with a video that seemed to miss the mark.
And I'm wondering, a lot of the videos we see with Caitlyn Clark, she's got actual men, grown men out there in her face trying to keep her from making shots and this and that and the other. There's not a lot of hands in Angel Reese's face here. And I am confused by the fact that she's trying to become this long-range player, it looks like. This is... she plays under the basket, or we thought she was playing under the basket.
So, what's the bigger picture here? Is Reese truly focused on improving her game, or is this part of a larger pattern that fans have noticed before? And just how serious is the criticism? If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. Now, let's dive back in.
Overnight, and look, as an organization, we just, felt it was time to make a change. There's just private issues that I think we will keep just in the Skylock room.
As fans and analysts continued to break down Angel Reese's practice video, Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh weighed in, intentionally or not. In a recent press conference, Marsh made it clear that improvement was needed, and commitment to the basics was a must. While he acknowledged Reese's raw talent, he didn't hold back from stressing that talent alone wouldn't be enough to succeed in a competitive league. This wasn't just typical coach talk, it was a public reminder that the expectations for Reese have risen. Her potential is undeniable, but it has to be backed by hard, consistent work. For many, this was seen as a clear message: Reese needs to step up.
If Angel Reese doesn't improve her offensive efficiency, she can't be a franchise player. Her IG followers aren't going to help her win games. Eventually, the need for quality will beat mediocrity. Amen. That's a great comment right there. It really is. Yeah, you're not building a championship contender around Reese, considering she's a rebounding role player. She's a good player, but she'd be better off the bench as an energy player. She's not an MVP caliber player because she can't shoot outside of the paint or inside.
For Chicago Sky fans, Coach Marsh's comments really hit home. The backlash had already been building in fan forums, with many expressing frustration over what they saw as misplaced focus and inconsistent performances on the court. One fan bluntly stated, "Angel Reese creates more scoring opportunities for herself with missed shots than made ones." Another pointed out, "She's great on social media, but her efficiency doesn't match the spotlight." These critiques weren't just noise, they highlighted a real concern about Reese's priorities, with fans questioning whether she was fully committed to improving her game or more focused on maintaining her public image.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
The criticism didn't stop with her shooting stats. Observers pointed out the clear difference between Reese and her teammate, Camila Cardoso, who had earned a reputation for being consistent and focused on the fundamentals. One fan summed it up by saying, "If we're talking about building a franchise, we need someone who isn't distracted." Cardoso, who avoids the media spotlight and public appearances, was seen as the steady, reliable contributor that Reese should aim to be. Discussions about Reese's role on the team also heated up. Some fans and analysts suggested that her spot as a starter should be re-evaluated, proposing that she might be more effective coming off the bench as an energy player until her efficiency improved. This wasn't just a critique of her skills, it was a strategic suggestion for what would best serve the team. Others took it further, speculating that unless Reese shifted her focus to the basics, like finishing under pressure and cutting down on mistakes, she could see her minutes shrink. Her IG followers can't help her score in the fourth quarter, one seasoned fan pointed out.
And it just leaves you scratching your head as to what exactly is going on. Is Angel Reese trying to be an influencer, or is she trying to be a basketball player?
These reactions raised a bigger question. Can Reese balance her off-court persona, which includes podcasts, sponsorships, and social media fame, with the demands of being a top-tier professional athlete? And, more importantly, was she ready to make the necessary adjustments and prove her critics wrong? The intensity of the conversation surrounding her wasn't just about one practice video. It reflected a deeper scrutiny of how she approaches her career and what she truly values. With all eyes on her, the question remains, what do the legends of the game have to say?
but now they're in that world. And so my only advice is usually just to make sure they keep basketball the main thing, because at the end of the day, that is your vehicle. It's your vehicle to, Angel Reese has a podcast. It's her vehicle to be a podcaster, right? Whatever Caitlyn ends up doing, it's the vehicle to get you to that point. So you always want to make sure that part doesn't fall off.
When Sue Bird, a four-time WNBA champion and one of the most respected voices in basketball, speaks, people listen. Bird's recent comments couldn't have come at a more crucial time for Angel Reese. In an interview, Bird stressed the importance of keeping basketball the main focus, a principle that has been the foundation of her own legendary career. This advice, though simple, carries a lot of weight. It serves as a quiet warning for players like Reese, whose off-court activities are starting to overshadow their on-court performance. Bird's legacy wasn't just built on her accolades, but on her relentless focus and discipline. Even as she secured endorsements and took part in media ventures, Bird made sure her basketball commitments always came first. This dedication not only made her a legend on the court but also a respected figure who younger players admire. When Bird pointed out the risks of straying too far from basketball, it was a subtle nudge for players like Reese to recalibrate before it's too late.
It's a balance. You have to find that balance. But when you look at some of the other athletes, particularly men, who've set a little bit of a blueprint in terms of the business and the sport, you never see LeBron miss a workout.
Bird's words struck a chord with fans who were already questioning Reese's priorities. The contrast with players like Caitlyn Clark, who effortlessly balances public appearances with intense training, only highlighted Bird's message. Bird's statement wasn't just a casual remark, it reflected the growing concerns within the WNBA community. The question on everyone's mind is clear: can Reese maintain her star status without putting basketball at the forefront?
You know who you are? You're the female Antoine Jameson. You know who Antoine Jameson is? He got 20,000 points with his shot. Whatever your shot is, like everybody's shot ain't gonna be Steph Curry, your shot is your shot.
Interestingly, this concern isn't just coming from outside voices. Shaquille O'Neal, a former LSU star and Reese's mentor, recently made waves with a candid comment on her podcast. Known for his strong support of Reese, Shaq surprised many when he pointed out that her current trajectory seemed more like that of a role player rather than a future star. For someone who's often been in Reese's corner, this critique highlighted a hard truth: talent alone isn't enough. To reach greatness, it needs nurturing, focus, and consistency. Even her biggest advocates couldn't ignore that reality.
Shaq just called her a role player, not a star, certainly not a superstar, not a legend. Hey, you remind me of Antoine Jameson. Oh, nice player. Put up 20,000 points. No one's really heard of him. I think Antoine played at North Carolina. Anyway, Shaq slams Angel Reese to her face.
The combination of Bird's subtle warning and Shaq's unexpected critique created a picture that was hard to ignore. High-profile figures within the sport were clearly signaling to Reese that her career path might need some adjustment. While her off-court engagements, podcasts, sponsorships, and red carpet appearances had certainly expanded her brand and visibility, they were starting to overshadow the core element that sustains an athlete's career: performance and commitment on the court. The message was clear: the road to long-term success isn't built solely on brand building or social media influence. Bird's career is a blueprint for sustained excellence, and her advice was more than just guidance. It was a roadmap for staying relevant and respected in a league where the competition only gets tougher each season. So, where does this leave Angel Reese? The upcoming season will be a defining moment for her. As the spotlight on Reese continues to grow, the key question is whether she will shift her focus and prove she's more than just a headline.
I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like there's just so many areas that I want to improve in and to continue to get in the gym and work on that every single day.
While Angel Reese's practice video sparked debates, Caitlyn Clark's offseason has been sending a very different message. Videos of Clark working out focus on drills that target her in-game strengths and areas she's determined to improve: long-range three-pointers, mid-range floaters, and strengthening her left-hand drives. Footage of her working on quick-release shots and perfecting her footwork highlights a commitment that goes far beyond occasional practice sessions. It's clear why analysts praise her as the embodiment of the blueprint for a professional athlete focused on long-term excellence. This level of dedication sends a strong message. While Clark also participates in public activities like attending charity events or sharing her love for golf, these appearances never take the spotlight away from her main pursuit: basketball. This balance isn't accidental, it reflects a careful strategy of blending brand building with the discipline needed to maintain peak performance. Fans appreciate this balance, seeing Clark not just as an elite player, but as someone who truly respects the hard work required to stay at the top.
I just come out here and try to play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful, and the records and whatever, or the stats.
The admiration for Caitlyn Clark's approach isn't just a passing compliment, it's setting a new benchmark. Her routine resonates with fans and teammates who value effort and continuous growth. As one analyst put it, Clark is always 2 steps ahead. She's not just playing to stay relevant, she's playing to set new standards. This mindset places her in the same league as basketball legends like Sue Bird and Candace Parker, athletes who mastered the art of building a public presence while keeping their core focus on being the best in the game. Clark's approach raises an important question for Reese. Will she adapt and find a balance between the allure of off-court fame and the relentless training needed for on-court success? Clark's off-season choices have positioned her not just to maintain her stardom but to push it even further. She's showing that skill development and dedication fuel a lasting legacy far more than spotlight moments ever will. As we look ahead, this comparison underscores how different paths can shape careers in unique ways. Caitlyn Clark's meticulous approach serves as a reminder that staying competitive isn't just about appearances, it's about consistently proving you're ready for whatever challenges come your way. The question now is whether Angel Reese will recognize this and pivot her focus, or if the gap between their approaches will only continue to grow. Looking back at Reese's off-season journey, one question stands out. Will she make the necessary changes, or will her training regimen remain as confusing as her practice videos? The feedback has been loud and clear, from fans, analysts, and even legendary players like Sue Bird. The off-season is a time for players to either bolster their game or lose ground. Caitlyn Clark's relentless dedication is a powerful reminder of what true preparation looks like. Meanwhile, Reese's focus on podcast sound bites and red carpet appearances continues to stir debates. Is she gearing up for the next season, or just the next Instagram post? For Reese, the 2025 season could be the turning point in her story. Will she shift her focus and prove she's more than just a social media sensation, or will her off-court antics continue to overshadow her on-court performance? Only time will tell.
Imagine if your first-round draft pick had the season she had, the controversy she had, got injured in a questionable injury, asked out, and then started a podcast gossiping about everything in the league as a rookie? Please.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Caitlyn's head down, just
ready to go.
You don't hear a peep from her. She cares about you got me wound up.